All right, let's open up the Opie stuff. So what we have for overtime today from the one and only Opester is that he does not like my buddy Karl from Who Are These Podcasts.
Oh, something Opie and I have in common.
Oh, shit. It was very funny. Karl we were texting about my appearance on Compound. He said it was good.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I go, how about that? He couldn't quite remember my name, even though I'd done a handful of episodes on his platform.
Sure.
But he knew April's name just like that.
I've been on his platform, hey.
And you know what Karl wrote back to me?
Uh-oh, what?
Who's that?
Oh, Karl.
Guys,
I don't like this me not liking you, because it could be reversed, hey.
Porschman says, I've been firing him off from downtown the whole show. Almost got him again. Yep, I mean, I've been saying, you guys have been very careful with those names. You guys keep firing them in there.
Very good.
And I don't know if that's Nicholas, if that's the same guy that's Nicholas, but
maybe.
you've almost gotten me twice tonight.
Those are good.
I'm
that one's probably the best one.
Yeah, Porschman is a really good one. The first one tonight was good too.
Yeah.
What was it?
Don't look at me.
I can't remember what the first one is, but it was really, really
all
good.
I know is it was remarkably racist.
All I know is it was horribly offensive.
Awful.
Moon Croquet says it's fucking Roots Calhoun doing it. Oh, is it?
That's funny, though. See, you're fine, right?
Citizen M says, I highly dislike April's faux feud with Karl. Stop doing bits. Real feuds only. Yeah, Citizen M only likes his drama authentic.
I think you got to talk to Karl on that one. I didn't start it. I would like to like Karl, but it turns out that he doesn't like me.
He's kind of a dweeb.
Where did that all start? Like, wasn't I trying to get him merch, but he would never message me back or something? What happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He completely ignored my message. I'm trying to send him a hoodie. Along with everybody else.
Well, we have two Opie videos, two very short Opie videos to go over today. Opie does not think so much about Karl. He doesn't think too highly of Karl.
Okay.
Doesn't like him, and wanted to let it be known in this next clip on his Opie radio channel. You know something? I'm one of those few people that doesn't blame Opie for doing everything Opie and Anthony related on his channel. All his videos being Opie and Anthony stuff. Because that's all people want to hear from Opie. They just want to hear about the old days. They want to hear stories from WNEW or WAAF or Sirius XM. That's all they want.
Right. What do they want to hear about? His poodle?
Yeah, they don't want to hear about Opie's doggy. They don't want to see Opie with the vegetables. They don't want to see
coffee.
Yeah, they don't want to
get him some steel toe coffee for that mug.
There you go. Yeah, they don't want to see Opie talk about the topics of the day. They want to hear about the illustrious career he's had.
Yeah.
But then he puts those videos out and they do pretty well. But then he gets ashamed that O&A stuff is getting him all his views. So he tries to put out hey, here's what I think about this. And it gets 150 views. And he goes back to the O&A stuff. Look, I know what my audience wants and I know what brings in other audiences. I figure if we get to 1,000, that's bare minimum that I'm okay with. Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 4,000, I'm really happy with those. Those are great. Opie can do 1,000 views if he just does Opie and Anthony talk stuff.
Yep.
And that'll be a respectable number.
People want to hear that.
So I don't know where he's at now with his with his confidence in terms of putting up O&A material. But he decided to address Karl from Who Are These Podcasts, and he thought this one would hit. I don't know if it did, but these are Opie's thoughts on Karl. Karl does Who Are These Podcasts. It's a show that's loosely based on Jocktober, the Opie and Anthony bit where they would make fun of other terrestrial radio shows.
Of course.
Well, Karl does it, but he does it with podcasts. So that's his little spin on the whole deal. Let's see what Opie thinks about it.
If you go on WATP, now I have no respect for those guys at all. Literally no respect.
Now, my first pause. Does Opie have no respect for Karl from Who Are These Podcasts because Karl's ripping off his bit?
Right.
Because Anthony has no problem with it. He embraces it. He likes Karl.
He likes Karl.
So is it because Opie objects to Karl doing the bit, or is it because Karl has a regular segment that he probably trots out once every month making fun of Opie?
Or is it that Karl has a relationship no matter how loosely, with Anthony.
That could be it. Yeah, they're friends. They're legit friends.
They've hung out.
Supposedly they're fans, but take shots at me, but not Anthony. No.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
I have no respect for the guy, and I'll tell you why. Because I guess his show, I swear I've never heard a minute of it, but I'm aware of it. Of course I am, and I got people that...
Okay, I don't... Okay, already I call bullshit, first of all, but also I hate it when you do that. If you don't watch it, then you can't comment on it.
On the contrary, though, most of these people that say, hey, I've never watched a second of their stuff, I have no idea what they're about, they can then list chapter and verse what the show is about.
Chad used to do that to us all the time. Whenever he would mention us, he would go, I don't listen to them. But here's what they said. Bing, 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 bing.
To my point already, he knows enough that they will not take shots at Anthony, but all the shots at him.
Right.
Okay, but I thought you didn't watch.
And by the way, Karl will take shots at Anthony.
Right.
They'll be relatively good-natured because they're friends, but, you know, I think we were talking about this on Hughesy's show. Like, Hughes was like, is Anthony too controversial now? And, you know, Karl, you're friends with him, and Aaron, you work for Compound. Well, you got, you know, what about this rant he went on when he was on Cozy playing video games? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Do we all have to babysit Anthony? And when he says something about race, we all have to like come out with a public statement that goes, oh, that's naughty, naughty.
No, it wasn't my night to watch him.
Yeah, I didn't know that the rest of the world didn't already know that Anthony has his particular feelings on race, and he makes them very publicly known.
Which is, in fact, one of the reasons people do tune into Anthony, right?
It's one of the reasons.
But I mean, perks.
Just the idea that it's like, oh, is you know, Aaron or Gino or Chrissy or you guys, do you want to address Anthony's latest comments? No, Anthony's beliefs and comments are his own. My beliefs and comments are my own. I don't know where
There's a reason you're not logging into Anthony's Twitter and tweeting for him, is what you're saying.
Not anymore. Not after I got warned that one time. After I wrote something semi-nice about a black
Anthony
lady.
got a message to his phone, you've had a new login from Minnesota. Is that you?
And the tweet was, you know, I think these black people are all right in some of these places. And then they said, never fucking again.
And Ant got pissed.
Yeah, nice fucking tweet, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again. So Opie's probably just upset that Karl, you know, he takes it easy on Anthony.
I get it.
Now, look, Opie, in fairness, Anthony does a show. You sit out on your deck and talk to potatoes. You guys do different levels of broadcasting.
Tell me stuff and this and that. So basically he's doing Jocktober. So it's literally my bit. A lot of people are doing Jocktober, literally my bit. And then, you know, hey man, we gotta like show you what this dummy's doing, and let's take this little piece of video where Opie sucks and let's exploit that, man.
Hey, wait a minute, that's what I'm doing. How dare you? Karl's ripping me off. Now, look, everything in the podcast world where you look at clips and talk about them and make fun of them, I mean, that's been done since clips existed. I mean, Jocktober didn't even invent that.
So what I'm reading from him, though, what I'm picking up on is that he is taking ownership for said bit, and he's upset now that other people are turning that bit of his on him. I'm guessing he doesn't like being on the receiving end.
Okay, but you could say, who are these podcasts is a tribute to Jocktober. Sure. I mean, you could also technically say that there's a little bit of a Red Bar angle to what they're doing, where you're playing the video and then you're pausing it and commenting on it. Red Bar doesn't own that. Jocktober doesn't own that. Howard Stern doesn't own that. That's something that people, they've done that on the news before, where they play video and then talk about it, or Fox News does it, MSNBC does it. So, like, it's so childish for people to go, I invented that. Like, Opie used to make fun of Howard Stern for going, I invented this, everyone else is ripping me off. And now here's Opie, because he's butthurt that Karl teases him every once in a while. He goes, hey, Karl's just ripping off my bit. Oh, yeah. You know, and here's the other thing. And we'll get to this a little deeper when we play our next Opie clip, which is the Jocktober one. Opie, maybe you thought of the idea of doing this. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. I wasn't there. But like Sam and E-Rock and Danny and all those guys, they're the ones who pulled the clips. They're the ones who found the shows. Like, you didn't do any of the work putting Jocktober together. Sam would get requests from listeners of shows that you guys should fuck on. He would pull a shitload of clips, And then he would play them for you the day of the show, and you guys would just comment. And Anthony and Jimmy would say something funny, and you would just get angry and pissy. Like April and I were listening.
Great time, though.
Yeah, April and I were listening to some Jocktober this weekend. Some old O&A Jocktober. And I remember Opie came on, and April goes, "Oh, my God, is that Opie?" It's just the way her
I'm so used to listening to Jimmy or Anthony, and it's like as soon as he pops in, it's like, oh God, he just doesn't sound like he's having fun.
You're just kind of waiting for his time to be done so the other two can keep going. Yeah.
I wish that wasn't the case.
Opie was like the guy, he was like the little brother that they had to let play on the team. Yeah. And you had to pass him the ball every once in a while. And you're like, okay, yeah, he'll miss the shot, but we know how he misses, so we can grab the rebound and put it back for him. That was Opie's role.
We're just keeping everyone honest out there, man. And then people ask the guy, why don't you go after Anthony then? There's plenty there to make fun of, and you don't do it. That's why I won't go on their show, and I have no respect for them. Zero. Absolutely zero.
I think I heard it the first 3 times.
Wait, how much respect does he have for Karl?
A big old goose egg.
Oh, 0? Okay.
0.
Yeah, it's not that they make fun of you. It's that they won't make fun of Anthony. You see, Opie he invented making fun of radio shows. Did you know this?
Oh, no, thank you for telling me.
James Bomert says, this guy is pretty funny. Right. Legion of Skanks says, Opie would be a Jocktober bit if not for Ant and Jimmy.
That's kind of what I'm getting after, yeah. That's being turned around on him. Like his idea of what Jocktober is being flipped on him. Now he's the butt of the joke.
Yeah, I would respect Opie a lot more if he would just, number one, what he lacks is honesty because he thinks too highly of himself and he doesn't have a sense of humor about himself. So, like, he tries to protect himself while going on his rant, like with the WATP thing where he goes, oh, I never listened to any of it. Because he can't let anyone think. Yeah, he can't let anyone think that he's ever heard any of this haters show.
Right.
I mean,
he kind of just reeks of insecurity.
Yeah.
And it's too bad.
Well, here you're going to hear him say that he came up with two staple Opie and Anthony bits. He came up with both of them. Whip 'em Out Wednesday and Jocktober.
Okay.
Opie is going to try to posit the theory that he invented a bit called Whip 'em Out Wednesdays, which was a sticker back in the radio station bumper sticker days. You'd put a sticker on your car, and the idea was women would see the sticker and flash you their tits.
Of course.
Now, did this ever happen? I'm sure maybe once it happened, but I doubt a show that had probably 90% of a male audience. I doubt that a lot of women on the side of the road just saw a sticker and just showed their titties.
You don't think they knew?
Right. Plus, doing little weirdo frat gigs, or little frat gags, if you will, as a morning zoo radio show is not something Opie fucking came up with.
No, if anything, he seems more of like a referee for these type of bits. Just, I don't know,
and
making sure the rules are followed.
And then he created Jocktober. I mean, first of all, making fun of other people's shows is something everyone had done since the invention of ratings had come out. And as far as inventing Jocktober, like, Sam pulled clips. Sam got the shows from the audience. Sam played the clips for you, and you guys all made fun of it. So it's hard to say that you have ownership of this bit.
Yeah, he's saying, I'm guessing, like, he's sitting in some circle of people one day, and he's like, oh, we should really make fun of this person.
Yeah.
And that's him claiming ownership.
Well, and it's not even that. I mean, Opie and Anthony played clips of different people and made fun of them for years on their show, and they just consolidated it to radio for the Jocktober bit.
When you can throw it into a month and name it.
That's true. Opie did come up. It seems
Does
like
he have the trademark?
It seems like everything that is the hack radio morning zoo wacky guy part of stuff, Opie created.
You are absolutely forgetting that not only is this just taking snippets from another show and goofing on it, it has a name.
It does have a name. Well, let's hear his side of it, and I'm sure it'll be good.
Was Jocktober Sam's bit? He took credit. No, God, no.
Right, it's not Sam's bit. He just did all the work.
Right, he did the heavy lifting. Oh,
that bit came from me, Sam. I gave I gave the idea to Sam and said, look, you got to find, great stuff we could goof on, and he absolutely took the ball. I hate Sam, by the way, but this is
Wow, that surprises me. Someone else from the Opie and Anthony universe, Opie hates him.
That was professional.
Now, you hear he's like, oh, you should find stuff we can make fun of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that means that's Opie's ownership.
That's what I'm saying.
Opie clearly owns Jocktober. He looked at Sam one day and said, could you find me clips of stuff to make fun of?
He had a fleeting thought one day.
Yeah.
He's like, God, because he probably saw some other show and he thought it was stupid. So he's like, oh, God, how fun would this be to just rip on him on O&A?
And then Sam goes and pulls all the clips and does all the work, and Opie goes, oh, yeah, I thought of that.
That was my idea.
where I confuse people. Like when you hate somebody, you're supposed to go all in. But I'll tell you this. It was my bit because I knew that I was in a business that had a lot of really, really bad radio. And I had the idea, and then I gave it to Sam and said, look, you know, find audio from shows that we could goof on. So he did a fantastic job with it. Absolutely. But the original bit was my idea. Came in with it because I was like, you know, we got to start making fun of these horrendous radio shows.
Again, that's not your bit.
Right, that'd be like Opie saying, oh, I decided one day that, you know, humans should really put lights in their showers so that they could see things nicely in their showers, and then claiming you came up with the light bulb.
It's the talk radio version of radio. It's the talk radio's version of going, you know what we should do on our show? Play music.
Whoa.
No, you didn't think of that. Everyone plays music. In the talk world, it's, hey, you know what we should do? Make fun of other radio shows out there. Yeah, before 2008, nobody had ever fucking done that. Ever.
I was doing a version of Jocktober my entire career, but then we obviously really honed it and developed it into just a huge benchmark bit for the Opie and Anthony show that everyone.
I would love to hear the WBAB solo Opie version of Jocktober, if that's the case. Please.
Absolutely. You know how there's episodes of O&A with Opie cut out of it?
Yeah.
Cut Anthony and everyone else out but Opie sometime. And
That
let's
would
see
be
how
good.
that sounds.
I would love to hear the guy who said brother man and mother hucka. I would love to hear that guy make fun of someone else's radio show.
Oh.
got involved with, but the initial little spark was absolutely my idea.
Making fun of.
Wow.
Imagine being so insecure that you have to claim that you're the one who invented making fun of other shows on the radio.
Okay. And then other people take this thing you apparently invented and do it so well that it's gotten around to you and now you're pissed.
Yeah.
Look at you all hurting shit.
Your legacy, Opie.
This is you. You did this, right, bud?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't even like
Look
talking
what
to him
you
like
handed to Karl,
I-
and Karl is in the driver's seat, taking your legacy and moving it forward to a new generation of fans. And you hate the guy's
He's
guts.
killing it though, man. You did that.
So now,
You
and you know,
inspiration, you.
it's funny because Opie used to say about Stern, he's like, oh, I fucking hate Howard. He thinks he invented everything. Hoo. And now Opie's kind of doing the hoo, I invented everything bit. Wait until you hear this part, the Whip 'em Out Wednesdays, where you put the sticker on the car and the girl shows her tits. Oh, boy, this Opie guy, he's a wild man. You can't stop him.
Get
Oh,
it?
I did. It was after John Valby's show. You know, there was a time like I didn't speak up about any of this stuff, but then I finally had it because people were really wondering, well, what did he actually do for the show? And then that's when I started speaking up about a lot of this stuff. But the Whip 'em Out Wednesday, I went to a John Valby show in Boston at the Comedy Connection when we were at WAF, the only station that really rocks. And Valby, like by the end of the show, was getting just regular girls to flash. And I couldn't believe it.
So Opie is saying, I invented girls showing their tits because I saw another guy getting women to show their tits.
I think rock stars have more of a claim to fame on that one than you do.
No,
bud.
tits invented that.
Yes, I know. That was the whole point.
Tits are the one who invented showing tits.
I pull my tits out when I want to.
Not
Damn
because
it.
Opie says so. But
No.
like, Opie is going, yeah, I saw a guy getting girls to go on stage and show their tits. So that's when I invented getting girls to show their tits. It's like, first of all, Howard Stern had women showing their tits in studio years before Whip 'Em Out Wednesday. But also the way he's laying it out that he was at a show somewhere, it's like saying, I got the idea to invent popcorn when I saw a guy making popcorn. Like, well, then you didn't really invent popcorn, did you?
You know, Aaron, there's some hot, slutty bartenders in Las Vegas at Hogs and Heifers that got us to pull our tits out. Did they invent it too?
They invented it. Yep.
I always thought, this is how stupid it was, but this is me a million years ago, so bear with me. I always thought,
don't worry, Opie, we're not going to judge you because you're still stupid now.
for a girl to do that, they had to be like a little special. Let's just say that. A little
retarded?
special.
Is he saying that only retarded girls show their tits? I know
girls just show their tits.
I know a Victoria's Secret model who's very upset with Opie right now.
But it was just everyday, regular women willing to do this at a John Valby show. And a spark went off in my head. And I went back and talked to Anthony about it. I go, I got an idea. And then, for real, me and him honed it at that point. We were trying to figure out a name. What
the fuck is this babbling idiot trying to say? I saw a guy. I invented getting girls to show their tits after I watched another guy have women show their tits, so I didn't really think of it. So I had the idea that I took from the other guy, and then I brought it to Anthony, and then Anthony and I worked it out together. And worked out what? Did you have to go in a lab and do chemistry experiments with beakers and test tubes to figure out women showing their tits?
No, check this out. Us ladies pretty much just love a good opportunity to pull them out when we can. All right?
Hey, we're afternoon shock jocks on a rock station. When we do station events, boy, it's going to be really hard to trick those super smart rock girls into showing their tits.
Nah, they're just fun.
Whip 'Em Out Wednesday didn't come about right away. I forgot our original name really, really sucked. And then
what was it?
This part I honestly don't know.
I bet you thought of it.
One day the name, the name Whip 'Em Out, the term Whip 'Em Out Wednesday popped, and then the rest was history. But that was a spark.
Wait a minute. I think I remember on an old O&A episode him saying what the original name of that promotion was.
Oh, yeah? What was it?
Could be wrong, but I think I heard them say once that it was Tata Tuesday. I could be wrong.
Taco Tuesday would have been better where we just pull out our snatches.
Pull out your pussies, yeah.
That I brought to the Opie and Anthony show when it was just me and Anthony after going to a John Valby show, and he would just point at girls and convince them to just flash the audience. It was absolutely insane.
Maybe they were just into him.
Wait a minute. So then so this whole thing is I came up with Whip 'Em Out Wednesdays, but now you're saying you never actually came up with Whip 'Em Out Wednesdays. It was this Valby guy.
Right. And then Anthony was successful with it afterwards. The most sinful part of this for me is that I always do really enjoy hearing old things from the O&A days. But when you hear it from Opie, you have to take such a big dose of bitterness with it that I'm not even sure if it's accurate anymore.
LOS says, next thing you know, Karl is going to be strictly a board op. Yeah, he's going to just follow the Opie arc. BYB Podcast says, I invented flashing a penis. Oh,
very nice.
Man,
very
that's
nice.
Why didn't any of us think of that?
I thought streakers did that maybe, but,
Raz of Chaz says, you still have that disgusting poop stash? Well, see now, April.
See now, that sounds like a jealous man to me.
Oh, boy. See, April likes the stash. And, some people do, some people don't. What are you going to do?
Here's where I've landed. I either want you to take really nice care of your mustache and make sure everything else is cleaned up but that, or I prefer you shaved. One or the other. I don't like the other riffraff.
There you go. Kmart says you need a foot fetish bit. Steel toes days.
Steel toes days. Okay, get people to pull out their toesies.
Yeah, maybe go over the best people on WikiFeet.
You can all pull out your sweaty, wrinkly toes from your steel toes.
Yeah, and then show us, and we can guess who's smell the worst. Perfect.